Good morning, Felicia.
Hi, Jeff.
So where in the world are we today?
So we are in Panama City, Florida. More specifically, we are at St. Andrews State Park, and we're on St. Andrews Beach.
All right.
We heard and we read, but also we heard from our Airbnb host that this is the best beach around, and I kind of believe it. It's really beautiful and fairly calm, even though there's a red flag up this morning. But there's this rock break, so it makes it a little bit more calm inside that.
Yeah, there's actually a couple different beaches here that are kind of separated by a jetty. We're actually in town for the whole weekend, but we're kind of doing today's video on just like a beach day.
Right.
So I'm gonna pan around here quickly to kind of show you a 360 view of this whole area, and then I think let's go hop in the water.
Yeah, just real quick though, it's $8 per car to get in, or $2 per person if you're walking in. So it's totally reasonable to spend the day at the beach for $8, I think, for a car full of people.
All right, let me get a shot around here of the whole beach. And I've made it about halfway out here, as far as the water being up to my waist. The water looks like super crystal clear, so I think I'm gonna dunk the camera underwater and see how clear it looks. All right, obviously I've got my waterproof camera here, so I'm not sure how good the audio is going to be because I've had it underwater, but assuming you can hear this, Felicia, what do you think of this beach now that we've been in the water, the temperature and whatnot?
I love the water. The water is so clear. You can literally just, I'm 5.5 feet tall, or 5'4", or 5'5", whatever I am. So I can see clearly the bottom right now. So that's how deep this water is. The water itself is wonderful. It's warm once you get in. It's a little chilly, like any ocean water, to the touch when you first come in at your ankles. It's a little. The beach is weird. It's eroded away. It's kind of like what we experienced in Cancun, where it's eroded to a cliff. So there's a bluff. You have to climb down the bluff.
Yeah, I'll get some shots of it here afterwards.
Before you get into it. So it's not really a nice sloping beach. You just you come down the bluff and then you're in the water. That's kind of that. But it looks like the sand is amazing. It's white sand, it's shells, it's coral, it's all the things that we love. This water break really does a nice job. Like I said, it's kind of a red flag day, but it's not right here.
Right.
Because we're kind of in a little lagoon that's created by this breakwater. So.
Yeah, and I think even on a super crowded day, like a holiday weekend or something, the beach is rather large. You could probably,
it's huge.
Find a spot to put your towel out and whatnot. So, yeah, I took some shots, underwater there of some little tiny schools of fish. Hopefully those shots came out well, because I know the last time we were at the beach in Cancun,
it was cloudy.
Yeah, you couldn't really see much. So hopefully this turns out a bit better. So I think we'll swim around a little bit more, and then I'll probably get some shots more of up on the beach, and we'll let you know at the end of the day what we thought.
Sounds great. See you soon.
did a little bit of exploring, and what did we find?
We found they have rentals here. It's a state park, so they're totally reasonably priced. So you can rent paddle boards and kayaks and different things. There are also, the ferry out to Shell Island, which is right behind us. The personal watercraft stuff you can't actually rent right now because we're red flagged on the beach, so like the waves are too high for you to engage in that kind of activity. I think you can take the ferry. I think the ferry is running to Shell Island.
So, yeah.
It's not something we're going to do today because we've got some other tentative things planned, but it's $24 for an adult
For
round trip to go over to this island behind us, which is really good for like shell collecting and snorkeling and all those kind of things. But quite honestly, you can do all that right here as well.
Yeah, I did want to mention that right here behind us also, before you get to the island, is another like more sheltered area. You can see it's a bit more crowded, but I think that's where everybody has like little kids and whatnot because the waves and the undertow and all that is not as bad.
Right.
So if you're willing to risk a little bit more of the choppy waters, it's a little bit less crowded out on the southern side of the park. And if you're looking for that, more sheltered place for kids to hang out, it's on the east side of the park, right across from Shell Island. So like I said, I think we're gonna spend a little bit more time here, maybe get back in the water here in a little bit, and then we might head out to another part of Panama City Beach.
Sounds great. See you there.
Well, it's the next day, and we're finally getting a chance to record an outro. After we left the beach at the state park, you want to tell everybody where we went?
So we went to lunch at a little Japanese hibachi type restaurant. They had some lunch specials. It was really, really good. The food was delicious. It was just kind of almost like diner style kind of a thing of a restaurant. It was great. And then when we left there, we went to the Nature Conservatory. Yeah.
Right.
I'm not gonna say that was my favorite part of this trip. How about you?
Yeah, I'm much more into hiking and trails and things like that, but
this was not that.
yeah, but obviously it's Florida, so it was completely flat, and it was a little barren. I'm going to throw up some video here on the screen as I'm talking about it, but the trees were kind of sparse and all that, and there wasn't really much nature at all. I think I saw, a couple birds maybe.
I didn't see any birds. I saw a bunch of dragonflies and a flower. That's what I saw from nature. Otherwise, that was just trees. Not even really trees. It was completely open into the sun, so there was no shade. There was no respite from anything from the severe Florida sun, and it was a gravel trail that just kind of went in a loop around.
And some boardwalks.
Yeah, a couple of boardwalks where there was swamp. Yeah.
So hiking is not really all that great. I don't think anywhere in Florida, even though I've done it quite a bit. But yeah, if you're here, stick to the beaches and the town and whatnot. But after that, we went someplace that I like quite a bit called Pier Park. Mm-hmm. You want to tell everybody about that a little bit?
Pier Park reminds me a little bit of Icon Park in Orlando. So there's like a Ferris wheel, there are some escape rooms and some, activities like that to do.
Yeah.
But the big thing about it is shopping. Like there was some really great shopping there. There are probably 100 or more different stores all kind of clustered together, and it's right on the beach. So you literally cross the street and then you can walk down to the beach. Now the thing of it is Panama City Beach itself has been closed for a couple days. There was a recent shark attack a little bit west of here, but they have closed the beach, so there was no swimming, so we didn't bother with the Panama City Beach itself. St. Andrews Beach, which is where we went in the morning, is kind of around the, not where the shark attacks or not near where the shark attacks were, so we could go into those beaches, but Panama City Beach itself was closed, so we never got a chance to really see what that was like.
And I'm glad we went to that state park, because Panama City Beach, the standard beach along where the city is at, is very nice, but it's just long and straight and flat, and I don't want to say boring because it's a beach. It's not really boring, but down where the state park is, it curves around, and you have the jetties and the island to look at, and
I would 100% do that again. If I were coming to Panama City Beach again, or coming to Panama City again, I would 100% spend the $8 to get in the car to do that beach. It was just so nice, not crowded at all, just great sand, great beach.
I wanted to mention though about the parking, because we got there relatively early, got in plenty of parking. When we left there, it was 11 something, and it was actually the parking area by the beach was closed. They were still letting people into the park in general, but they were making them park farther down by the pier, and you could have walked down there. But from what we've been told on busier days, like they just completely close the park and don't let anybody in after a certain period of time. So if you're gonna go there,
well, it's not a time; it's when they're at capacity.
Well, right,
so
right. Yeah. So go early in the day if you want to.
We went at 9 in the morning, and it was perfect.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
Not crowded, plenty of places to park.
It opens at 8. I would go at 9 again. I would even go at 8 again if that's what lent itself to our day, kind of thing. Yeah. So after we did Pier Park, we came back to the Airbnb. We made a dinner. We came out on the pier or the. We have a private dock at our Airbnb, so that's where we are right now. We came out here to watch the sunset, and we kind of, had a couple drinks and just had a nice rest of our evening. And now it's the next morning, and we're out here on the dock again, having my coffee, his monster, right? And then got to get packed up and hit the road again for our 6-hour drive back to Orlando.
Yeah, I think just one final thoughts. We were here for a relatively short weekend, like she said. We're hitting the road, but I was here in Panama City Beach about 30 years ago or so, but I only spent like the day. I was here with some coworkers. We came and we drank at some bars, and I honestly don't really remember it all that well. Felicia had never been here before, but our general impression coming in was that it was going to be like a lot of other beach cities that have been around for a long time, that it was going to be a little bit older and dated, not necessarily run down, but just stuff had been here for a while. We were actually pleasantly surprised that the vast majority of the area is well kept up. There's newer stuff that's been built.
New construction.
Even the stuff, the older stuff is well kept, or at least been updated a little bit. And of the various beach cities that we've been to in Florida, which hasn't been a ton of them, but we've been to several. It is definitely one of the nicer ones as far as, the businesses and the housing.
What there is to do other than the beach.
And all that.
We're beach people, but we're beach people for like one morning.
Yeah.
And then we want to go do the rest of the stuff. And I would say this Panama City is like the perfect mix of that. Like I would absolutely come back here again to do the morning at the beach and then go do whatever else. Now we didn't get a chance to do, some of the water sports that are available and those kind of things, which I would do next time,
right?
For sure, do some of the snorkeling, catamarans, and those kind of things, or even just the boat cruises, those sorts of things. We didn't get to do any of that because we just were short on time, and we were a little bit limited on what we could do in our one full day that we spent here, which was yesterday.
All right, well, I think that about wraps it up. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so, and ring that notification bell so you can find out about future videos we have coming out. And I think I'll pan the camera around the area here by our Airbnb on the lagoon, just as the closing shot of the video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.